What's going on, party people? It's Pete from Backdraft Bikes, and I'm here to tell you about my new car, the Tesla Model Y. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm a bike guy. Why in the world am I reviewing a car? Well, simple fact of the matter is I am a total wrench head. I love motors, I love cars, and we needed to get a new car, and the Teslas have really intrigued me. A couple things about the Teslas that just totally blow my mind. Number one, the level of technology that these cars have is just mind-boggling. They can do anything you want. And before you think I'm gonna get in here and go get a large latte and eat at Chipotle, let me tell you something. We're firefighters. We live up here in the great state of Maine, where it's freezing cold and we have very harsh weather conditions. So a Tesla is not something that you would automatically flip to unless you live in South Los Angeles.
No, sir.
Anyways, if you test drive one of these vehicles, you're gonna fall in love. And that's exactly the mistake that I made. I was at the dealership, just wanted to check it out because I've seen so many people ranting and raving about them, and it's a car, and so it's cool. I said, well, I just want to drive one. Once you drive one, the salesmen are even like, hey, here, take one for a ride. The vehicle sells itself. The amount of power,
Hot supper.
horsepower, and torque that this vehicle has is nothing like you've ever driven, unless you own a Lamborghini or something. And so let me take you around this car. I'm going to show you a couple things. Now, before you think me and Elon are BFFs, I want to explain to you a couple of the issues that I've had with this Tesla and how I'm resolving them. Let's walk around the car. First off, we did paint the actual hubcaps with a wheel paint because they come in a gunmetal silver, which is a little too bling bling. I really wanted the black rims that they sell, but it's like an additional couple $1,000. It was gonna push this over my budget. Everything on this car is controlled by the app. So when you have your app on your phone, basically you can do everything that you want with it. It's like your key fob. So first off, let's start in the front. We will remotely open the trunk, or the frunk as some people call it. And normally in this area, in a regular car, you would anticipate having an engine, but that's not the case here. What you have here is a really cool place that will hold like 4 suitcases of beer. The serviceable parts are underneath this cowling, such as an air filter, your windshield washer fluid, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no engine. The hood is made out of aluminum, and it feels like it's about 5 pounds in weight. One cool thing about the 2021 Tesla Ys, and most of the Tesla Ys for that matter, is everything is chrome delete. It's all murdered out black to begin with from the factory, which I love.
Wicked good.
We chose the white pearl color, if you will, because if you choose any other color, Elon takes more of your money. So we can paint this later. The paint from the Tesla factories is not that great according to people online, and I did find a few flaws in mine. I'll show you. On the side of the car, the mirrors fold in when you park. There's cameras on the door pillars. There's also cameras in the fenders right over here. And these provide a 360-degree view outside your vehicle for the auto driving features that the car comes with, as well as this cool feature called Sentry Mode, which is essentially your car is recording all the motion around it, and if somebody comes up and messes with it or whacks into your door or keys the side of it, the camera actually records it. And if the person's paying attention when they try to get in the car, the screen will actually come on and it will tell you Sentry Mode, you're being recorded, which is kind of cool. I've heard that if you really jack on the window or something like that, it actually starts playing this like thrash metal music inside at a very high volume to scare away anybody. I don't know if that actually works, but that's pretty cool. Top of the car, complete glass. And it's, according to Tesla, it's a special type of glass that's got a high UV resistance. So we don't have super strong sun up here in Maine. We have pretty cold weather, but the sun does bake down on it in the summertime. Now we got this at the tail end of the season, but I can tell you right now, even on full sunny days, it's not bright inside the vehicle. Folks from the Arizona region that I know have one of these cars, they've never had a problem with that as well. Besides, I think they make aftermarket sunshades you can put on, but inside you'll see what it looks like. It's pretty cool. Going around the back, One thing I've noticed about this car, and it's probably just the aerodynamics, but it picks up road dirt like you wouldn't believe. It's kind of crazy. So just be aware of that, and white is one of those colors that actually is supposed to be the cleanest, the easiest to keep clean. And I've noticed this car just gets filthy as soon as it starts raining. Everything on this car is power, okay? So the liftgate, power, there's a button, it opens up. And one thing I like about the Model Y that you'll probably enjoy too is the size. There's so much room in this car. I borrowed a Tesla Model S P100D, which I'll have another video up on my deal shortly, while this one was in the shop for the first problems. And there was no room in that car at all. This car actually has room, and a friend of mine has the Model 3, and I would say there's not that much room. This car though, really, they did a good job at understanding that people are gonna be using this that have families and need room. Couple cool things, they've got LED lights in a lot of areas, very bright at night when you turn them on. You pop open the hood, you can see what you're dealing with. We put some mats on here just to protect. The carpet that it comes with is a little cheesy, and there's a huge trunk in the back here which you can put stuff in you don't want people to steal. There's storage compartments on the side. There's another one. And then there's another storage compartment on the front side of this that fits your ice scraper and what have you. Maybe your baseball bat. The seats fold down electronically, but they don't power up, so you gotta manually power those up. So we'll do that. Let's close this, top of the button. We'll come over here. Charging port is on the driver's side. You literally get near it with the charger and push the button and it'll pop open. We installed a charger at the house. It comes with like an extension cord adapter thing, which allows you to charge the car moderately fast off a 220 volt receptacle. But what we ended up doing actually is putting in one of the fast chargers at our house. It was like $500. I wired it myself to a 60 amp breaker. The garage is now on fire, but the car charges in like 4.5 to 5 hours from a pretty much a complete battery stop. All the handles on this push in and pull out. It dings the window down just a pinch to assist with opening. And then to flip the seats up, go ahead, Junior. There you go. They flip up pretty nice. All the doors are electronically activated too. So this actuator, it's a button. All the doors use the same button. To open it, you push the button and it just pops the door. Kind of like if you were building a custom car and you had door poppers. The car kind of acts the same way. I'm pretty sure, I don't think there's any mechanical ability to these. I think these are just a switch. Now, a little tip we've already found, because we've already had snow up here this year, is if the doors freeze, you just push right here, and what it does is it kind of cracks them open, and then you can push them in and they'll open. Why don't we get inside and we'll talk about the space that we have. All right, so what I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about is the space that this car has. I'm a big guy, and I have a hard time finding cars that actually fit me. This car has a good couple inches of headroom above my head to the ceiling, which I think is ingenious because they have the glass roof on this thing that does allow for taller people to not bottom out. Also, on the control board here, the iPad it's mounted, you can actually have each driver selected, so you don't actually have to reset everything. It changes the mirrors, the steering wheel position, the seats. It even changes the AC and heat. So as you can see, it threw the heat seaters on because it knows I like those.
Hot supper.
Couple things about how this car operates before we go into a drive and I give you a demo on how it works. As far as issues and things that I've had with it. We took this car in the East Coast Distribution Center in, I think, Paramus, New Jersey. We drove down there. Tesla was super cool. They gave us a rental car to come down and get it because in Maine, you can't register. They don't have a dealership up here. There's nothing I can do about it. So you have to drive down. You rent a car, you go pick it up. And the delivery process was a little bit rushed. So I meet this guy at the dealer. He hands me my key card and he basically says, let's pair your phone to the screen and see you later, have a nice day. And I'm just like, okay, if you had no technical knowledge of how these vehicles worked, or you couldn't figure things out on your own, maybe you're just a little technically challenged, you'd have a really hard time getting in this car without the guy walking through stuff. And that's kind of disappointing on the delivery experience. So I'll give that 1 thumbs down. You have to do a pre-delivery inspection. Okay, what you want to do is you want to look at this vehicle and go over it and make sure it meets your specifications before you accept it. Because let me tell you, after you accept the vehicle, if there's issues with it, you're going to have to fight them. And that's exactly what I had to do. Essentially, you can't get a real person on the phone with Tesla. You have to go through their app and they text you, which again, if you're a millennial, game on. But if you're like me and you want to actually talk to somebody on the phone, it's very difficult to do that. Pre-delivery inspection, I went through everything and I started looking at the car, and I know I did my research online. Some people were saying, you know, like door panels are off, there's gaps and different things. I did find a couple issues. Number one, the rear bumper on this car, when they were transporting it, they must have had it strapped down funny because it was bent and actually broken. And the paint was actually chipped from it. Now, I'm not trying to be picky, but a brand new $50,000 car, you don't want a bad bumper. On inspecting the bumper, it looks like they actually tried to touch it up because I saw overspray on the trunk lid, which was kind of annoying, again, on a brand new vehicle right from the factory. Also, in inspecting the vehicle, I noticed up underneath where the license plate lights were, it didn't look like the factory paint was all that good. It almost looked like there was overspray and it hadn't gotten a full coat underneath that as well. But that could have been from them just trying to touch it up at the dealership. I don't know. So the back bumper was junk. Another thing that was a problem was the glove box. So the glove box has been fixed now, which everything is operated through this iPad. It now operates nice and smooth, but this is what it looked like before. So the glove box was an issue, the interior lights didn't work, and we had a bunch of sensor issues with this thing parking. It didn't want any of the safety features to work on the outside. Continual problems with the cameras being fogged up and parking sensors not working and the car just not working. Here's where things kind of got annoying about this. Brand new car in the lot has issues. Do you accept the car with the issues and their good faith that they'll fix it?
No, sir.
Or do you reject the delivery and wait 6 to 8 weeks for another car, which may or may not have issues as well? Balancing those out, I wrote on the delivery slip the issues, and that really teed off the guy who wanted me to just sign it and drive out of his lot. He was kind of upset that I did that. Let me tell you, I'm glad I did, because the very next day when I went on the app and put all of these issues in, and I went to the place, I got the text message back. I said, this is a brand new car and all these issues are happening. They were like, oh, why did you take delivery of it? And I'm like, because the guy told me to, and I wrote them on the slip. I also took a picture of that paper, which proved to be very valuable when I ended up at the dealership to get these fixed. Now, here's another issue. They were like 3 weeks out for the repairs. So not only did I have to drive about 2.5 hours each way to get down to Massachusetts to the place that fixes these, I had to wait in line like 3 weeks to get an appointment. When I went to go down there, they text you the day before saying, hey, your appointment, a couple hours after I had received the text that my appointment was confirmed for the next day after I had waited 3 weeks, they sent me another text saying, by the way, we couldn't get parts for your car, and so we'll see you in an additional 3 weeks. This is the day before, less than 12 hours before I had taken the day off of work to get down there. So that's super frustrating. At this point, I text back and I'm like a madman. I'm like, I bought this brand new car, has all these issues. What are you guys going to do to fix it for me? Well, the service advisor down at the Massachusetts Tesla was 5-star, top-notch, awesome guy. He actually reached out to me. We talked on the phone, finally got a real person on the phone, explained the issues, and he said, none of these are indicated that they were when you got the car delivered. And that's why I'm so happy I had that piece of paper copied that showed my signature on it, because then that really pushed this up and they were able to get the parts. If I accepted this car with a scratch bumper, what's to say they would have said, oh, you did that after you took delivery, right? So protect yourself with the paperwork. He allowed me to keep my original appointment. We drove down and he took really good care of me. He gave me a really nice loaner car. They did have the car for a couple days and he was very flexible because we had so much driving time in between that he let me keep the loaner car over the weekend and finally get down there. Now, when I got down there, not only had they taken care of the mechanical issues that I asked them about, but the car was ready to go and they had fully charged it, which was super cool because I had such a long drive ahead. I did find a few little pieces and parts from their repair on the floor mat, which was kind of nuts, as well as some dirt. With issues that I had, I still really like the car. I know I've rambled for a couple minutes now, but with the issues that I had with the car, you know, it's still a really nice car. So let's go through some of the features and then we're gonna drive. First off, this is the long range all-wheel drive model. They call it dual motor. And basically what dual motor does for you is it gives you the ability to really ride this baby in bad weather, which we have lots of up here. Let's talk about the controls. The screen is really amazing. Again, it's bigger than the biggest iPad they make. And everything from your headlights to what phones you're using to driving modes and everything else, these are all controlled in the screen. So again, it's very much like using a actual iPad, but it's there's not a lot of physical buttons in the car. There is a gear shifter here that acts as your cruise control, parking, reverse drive, auto steer, and then there's one other one on the other side, and all this one controls is your blinkers and the ability to just let the wipers wipe once or wash the window. The actual windshield wipers are controlled right here on this setting, which is kind of annoying. I kind of wish that they had an actual windshield wiper stock. We also have these two scroll wheels on the steering wheel, which essentially control anything that is tied into the computer system. So you can adjust the mirrors through this, you can adjust the steering wheel position through this, you can adjust your adaptive cruise control distance between the vehicles in front of you, your volume, etc. You can do everything like that. Let's go back to the computer just for 1 second. Just want to show you a couple things. The climate control can be synced or it can be split, so everybody has their own climate controls. The other really neat thing, heated seats on the entire vehicle. So you can turn the rear heated seats on, the front heated seats on and off. There's even the middle seat in the back is heated, which is pretty cool. Climate control is really awesome. If you can see the way they're moving, you use your finger to adjust how you want it. You can even pinch them together. You can move them apart. It's really kind of cool how the vents work. I gotta say, I like that. There's a couple different things too you can set. You can set it to climate control off when you leave the car. You can leave it on all the time, but I don't know why you would. You can set it so it keeps your dog from dying, and then there's a camp mode that makes it so you can camp out overnight, which is pretty cool. A couple other things about this on the car. There's charging status. You can set your limit on how much you want this to charge every night. You can tell it to schedule. There's also the camera mode, which allows you to see the different cameras in the vehicle. Everything on this car is also voice control as well, which is really cool. Turn off the climate control. So it does pretty much function the whole car. Cool thing is you can push this button on your steering wheel right here and it will actually activate the voice command.
But you can send text messages and call people from it.
Oh, thank you. Now the cameraman speaks. Yes, you can do text messages and phone calls and things like that. There's a charging port here for your phones. You can put your phone on. It's supposed to be wireless charging, but if you have anything over an iPhone 6 size, they won't charge. The coils in here are in the wrong position, and I got one of the new phones, the new iPhone 12s, and it won't charge at all because apparently it's just not lining up. Kind of frustrating. That would be cool if it worked. In my Toyota, that's much cheaper than this, it has wireless charging, it works like a glove. So I don't know why Tesla didn't get this figured out. Another thing that's kind of annoying, but kind of cool, is Sentry Mode. So Sentry Mode allows you to, again, watch your car when you're not around. And if somebody's going to do something to your car, you have essentially a security camera system running all the time. once you come back in the car and there's been an issue with somebody around your car, it will actually record the person around your car. So here I was at work one day, and you can see, you can scrub it over to when the event actually took place, and it saw a guy walking up to my car, and it said, "Hey, what up?" right there. Look at that handsome dude. That was me. But that's essentially what it'll do, is if anybody is in the right around your car, it'll actually video record what's going on, which is pretty cool. One thing that's kind of annoying about that, though, is you have to insert a USB drive into your car before it will actually record. I just bought a cheap one at Staples for like 10 bucks and I put it in here. Why doesn't Tesla just have a little flash memory that automatically comes with the car so you can use this feature? I don't know, but as long as you buy a USB drive and you format it, it will work just fine. Another really cool thing about Tesla, which I think is awesome, is the dash cam. So the dash cam actually records all the time whenever the car is running. After we dropped it off, the guys came in and they worked on it, and I'm not sure if they knew that the dash cam was running, but this allowed me to get a recording of them working on the car, which is kind of cool. Everything else, again, from this is very nice. The touchscreen is extremely responsive, very quick, and you can navigate. Tesla's navigation is really cool. It will tell you where the superchargers are. So if you decide you want to navigate somewhere, you can put it in here and it will tell you like what your battery is going to start at and what it's going to be when you get there. And if you don't have enough juice to make it, it's actually going to tell you to stop somewhere and get a supercharger. One of the cool things about these superchargers is you can see they actually show how many stalls are available, and you can look at it quick right here. You'll see how many cars are parked there. So if we go up to the high rent district in Freeport, Maine, you can see that there's one person parked there.
If they're full, your car will charge super slow.
Yeah, thanks, Si. That's a good point. So if there's a lot of people it will charge much slower. Okay, so these are probably still okay since they have 12 spots down by the city. But anyways, yeah, so that's how that works. Pretty cool. I think Tesla's really figured out how to make these displays work, because everything really seems to work good. They give you 1 year of premium connectivity, which gives you a bunch of stuff that's pretty cool. The only benefit I can say to the premium connectivity that I could live without is the integration of TV channels, YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Twitch. I guess you can watch these when you're charging, which is kind of neat. But I will say this, I think YouTube is kind of laggy, and I would much rather just use my phone with unlimited data already. That being said, it's $100 a year, which gives you your traffic. So this will automatically do kind of like what Waze does. If the traffic is going bad, it'll actually reroute you. So that's kind of neat. I think that's worth the $100 a year, in my opinion. The other thing that's really, really good is the music. You can select your regular radio stations, which the FM antenna in this car is unbelievably good, but it also comes with a whole host of streaming music and news and comedy channels and all types of stuff. So you can actually use anything you want in this. I just got a text message from a guy. What does he want? So you can push the right.
Blau and Marcel says I have an egg carton.
Random. You can select your channels and they're all commercial free, and they're actually really, really good. There's like a DJ somewhere spinning them out in Tesla.
Looking good, Bob. Yes,
This
sir.
is rock. I mean, look at all the rock. Southern rock, yacht rock, because I mean, you have a Tesla, so obviously you have a yacht.
If you tell it to play a certain song, it will play a bunch of songs based on that song.
Yeah, usually it'll play the song and then it will like create a station, almost like Apple Music does. I said Apple in a Tesla ad. Right! Okay, now that being said, there's a karaoke thing. You can sing songs, which were why would
Disney,
why would you ever do that?
Whatever.
I don't know. Your phone will go through and you can play your radio stations through your phone as well. But I'm telling you, the streaming service from Tesla is actually pretty stinking good. Pretty stinking good indeed. What else, Si? What else? What am I missing?
Well, there's a ton of these types of things, and there's also entertainment. So, you have games and all the other stuff. But if you're at a charging place, you can play some games. There's even racing games that you can use the steering wheel for, which is fun. And then there's a thing called the toy box. And this allows you to set...
Yes, we know. Cyrus loves the farting noises.
It allows you to set a fart to whatever chair. And there's also... You can make your own music.
Beatbox.
You can do some romantic stuff.
That's weird.
Drive on Mars. There's anything, really. And when you push this, this will turn on heat and heated seats and a campfire. And make you feel like you're at a campfire.
That's unsafe. Oh, why is it like beatboxing?
Now it's playing some music.
That was uncalled for. All right, another thing that I just want to bring out about the Tesla that I wasn't too keen of, which is like a design issue, is factory. This comes with a really shiny piano black plastic thing here. And I'll tell you, as soon as you touch it with your fingers, it's dusty, fingerprinty, scratched up. It's no good. So you can buy on Amazon one of these wrap kits, 3M wrap, high quality, and it makes it look way better.
Same with the screen.
Screen protector as well. We put a glass cover on this just to keep it from causing problems, because we didn't want... that looks really expensive, and I would not know how to replace it, so we didn't want to do that. One other thing too, though, let me tell you, there's a ton of room behind me. My seat's all the way back. Tons of room. So, shall we go for a drive? I know this has been a lot of talking, but we really wanted to bring you through kind of everything. Once you put your foot on the brake, you pull the stalk down to put it in drive. You'll hear the rear emergency brakes disengage. So if you've never driven a Tesla, you're in for quite a treat. There's a lot of power in these cars. However, they drive a little differently. So for instance, right now we have this set on hold. You can have this on hold or creep, but hold is the best for your battery life. And essentially what hold does is when my foot's off the brake, the car isn't going to move.
We're in drive too.
Yeah, we're in drive. My car isn't going to move until I actually hit the gas pedal, and once I come to a stop, the car stops again. So as you can see, my foot's off the brake. I'll hit the drive. We'll go a mile an hour. I let off the gas, and it immediately stops. So kind of reminds me of driving an electric golf cart, believe it or not. I think that's kind of the best way to describe it. One thing that Tesla's done is they've mastered the art of traction control. So four-wheel drive, we're on very loose sand. Check this out. Absolutely no wheel spin on a full throttle stop. It's really remarkable. I'm not sure how they do it. So we're gonna go down here because this is an industrial park that's not open yet, which will give me a little bit of freedom for some acceleration, just to kind of show you what this car can do.
Let's do a 0 to 60 here.
Yeah, we'll do a 0 to 60. I like that. Sounds like a good idea. The only thing is with camera guys, they really got to hold on to the cameras.
Oh my word.
All right. Yeah. Once you get somebody in a car, don't tell them how fast this car is and then just mat it. These cars have tremendous power. So just half throttle. You ready? I mean, it's more, it has about as much launch feel as my Triumph 1200 Scrambler does, which is a motorcycle, which is kind of crazy.
It really is head jerking. We're not joking.
No, we're not joking. I know this is a stabilized camera, so it's a little hard to tell. But the vehicle also handles amazing. You can put this car through really anything, and it'll handle it. One of the things that you'll find though on this car is the rear visibility is not that good. In fact, it's pretty bad. So I've owned a couple Priuses for work, and I noticed that the Prius has like a small piece of glass underneath the tailgate, and I always wondered why they do that. Well, they do it for visibility. Because there isn't any glass on this side, you really have a very limited view of what's behind you. It's almost like you're riding in a car that's been chopped. To add insult to injury, or maybe it's because Tesla realizes that, the rearview mirror is tiny. Look at how small that thing is. It's like belongs in a Barbie car. Maybe this is a Barbie car. Let's see. Just kidding. You don't have to get gas in a Tesla. What an idiot. Okay, so we've navigated out of the city area onto some twisty roads to kind of showcase what this car really is good at, and that's the twisties. And it's got a lot of power, so it's a lot of fun to ride when you get into these type of situations. I will say this. One cool thing about this car is the suspension isn't super stiff, but it's definitely on the sport side of things. So it grips the road good, but it doesn't feel like you're riding in a car without suspension. Let's check it out.
Whoa.
Car gets up to speed almost immediately. Really, I don't know why you need more power. They sell the performance upgrade. I'm not sure why you would need that extra half a second, because the car already has ample power. Here's a pretty good corner. We'll come into it.
Drive it like you stole it, bub.
Yes, your bub. I mean, the car handles the corners no problem at all. Not a problem at all. So I guess I would say in conclusion on this video, if you're thinking about buying a Tesla Y, the 2021 model is pretty awesome. There's improvements over the 2020 model, especially in noise reduction. And if you have problems when you take delivery of your Tesla, don't worry, they'll fix it, but just cover your butt by documenting it. If you are going to get a Tesla, I'm going to put my referral code in the comment section below, and I'll also throw it on the screen here. Please feel free to use that referral code. It gives you 1,000 supercharger miles, and it gives me 1,000 supercharger miles as well. There's not very many superchargers around here, but we might go on a road trip someday, right, Si?
Oh, yeah.
Well, until next time, please stay safe.
She's a ripper.